And happy spotlight. It's a big bright spotlight day just for you, our audience, because today you'll meet someone who will have instant impact on you. She's charming. She has a great sense of humor. She has really cool hair and glasses. Just everything about her makes me want to spend time with her. What this series is about is featuring people who are inspiring and interesting and dynamic and have things to give, value and generosity, things to give to you, the audience. So as you're listening right now, or as you're watching right now, curious to see our guests, anxious to hear what they have to bring to the table, you have to meet this woman. Listen in. Isabelle is her name. Empowering women of all ages, but especially 40 and up. To break, so I'm in that category as I'm perpetually 42, to break free from limiting beliefs and embrace their authentic self. And many of us know the older we get, the more we do become our authentic self. How do we get there and find our superpower? Meet my guest right now, Isabelle, under the spotlight with Carmela together. Yay, all the way from Canada. There she is.
Hi. With the
Wow.
purple hair.
Your cool hair. Wear your crazy cool glasses. I love those
Thank you.
too.
Yeah, that way I'm going to be able to see you.
Hi. What's behind you? What is all the writing behind you? Were you working on some research and development?
No, it's actually a banner I found on, well, Amazon, of course. And it says, you're unforgettable and you're special and you're smart and you're beautiful and you're. So that way, when I talk to clients with my one-on-one coaching, they are constantly reminded that they are all of these things.
I
And
love that.
I usually, and when I do videos, I usually end all of them by saying, "You are it." Because you're the only thing that was the promise to you, right? The rest is fluff.
Mhm. But how do we get there? Because a lot of us struggle with that. Like hearing you say you are special. What reels through most people's mind is I'm not special. Why am I special? Why are you calling me special? What is special about me? Like we don't identify with that readily. Do you find that with people you've worked with?
Yeah, it's actually a very very common thing, and I've lived through that as well, right? Because it's when we compare ourselves to what we think that we know from other people's lives, we get to have a tendency of thinking that we're always behind, that there's something lacking. When we concentrate on when we tap into our essence and we concentrate on what we actually have, which starts with gratitude, then we know how unique we really are. Because out of, even like on a physiological perspective, you could have been one out of most likely 6 million other people, but out came you. And so we all have a uniqueness and a unique gift. I call them my God given gifts. And when you connect to that and you put it in service of others, you can't fail. It's impossible.
It's a
It
question though.
doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard, right? Sometimes life is difficult. Let's not pretend that it's not. But it's you're still going to be happier than just existing. And I've what brought me to that is just being tired of just existing. I didn't believe in the punishing God, and I didn't believe that I was here only to hurt and to suffer until I died. I didn't believe that. So at one point I just said, okay, so something's got to give, or I'm going to literally kill myself, but something's got to give. And that's how I found
Wow.
out how unique I really am, and I started embracing that, and that includes embracing my flaws, and I
Okay, I
have
have a question about that though. So
so
whether
many.
I don't need to be in my faith, but I can be. It's either this is self-discovery in a very positive way, but we do hear it, God-given gifts. We understand that. You'll hear people say you were born with talents. Isabel, your camera went off. I'm not sure why. But if you want to just click it back on, that'd be great. We'll just continue because we know that this is audio as well. those God-given gifts, sometimes we're not sure what they are, but just think about, there you are. What are the things that you like to do, which is how some of us figured out our gifts. But take us on the level that you work with people one-on-one, please, Isabelle. How do they find their gifts? What coaching can you give them? And what tips can you share with us today? How to really figure out, what are my gifts and how do I use them? Please.
Well, the first tip that I give everybody is always the same, and it is gratitude. Because it's scientific for the people who aren't faith-based, and that's fine. I'll work with anybody. I am honestly not overly religious. I am spiritual, and I do call this entity God. But for me, God, the universe, the guides, the call them what you want, the power of love, because it is the essence of love. All means the same thing.
Love that.
So when you connect to what you have, and when you feel, and there's the key, when you feel gratitude, then everything you are grateful for just shows up tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000 millionfold, right? So when you concentrate just on that, and that's a choice, Carmela, that's the thing. That's the difference between humans and animals, is we have the power of choice. So when you choose to look and be grateful and feel grateful for what you have, the universe rewards you by just showing you more of it.
So you had a pivotal time in your you can just pop back in again. This is the second time we've lost her in this broadcast, but she'll pop back in, and I have some questions which Isabelle will address for sure. Empowering, just that word alone. We want to be empowered. We want to be capable. It doesn't matter what we're doing with it or how we will use it. It's finding a way to barrel through and bust through, have breakthroughs. The word I would use here is have the transformation. Why I highly recommend this woman's coaching, because she is who she is. She's comfortable in her own skin. She's very skilled, very skilled. Starting out with massage therapy practice, her journey of a mindset facilitator became a goal when she realized that self-awareness became really key. I know you love to dance, freedom of expression. You've been through some heavy stuff in your life, like grieving your mom at a very young age. Now you're on stage as a public speaker giving these tips and abundantly, generously giving these tips, and do work with people one-on-one. Why is it so paramount that you share this? What's in your DNA? What are your gifts, Isabelle? Because now you have the credibility, but you're even working on your first book. What is it in you that makes you want to help other people have this transformative breakthrough?
First of all, I'm really sorry about the technical difficulties. I really don't know what happened with the camera on the second time. The first time I got a live FaceTime request, which I denied promptly. Yeah,
Thanks for handling that well.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
and I'm really, really sorry. I'm really not tech savvy, but I am getting
No
better.
worries.
Well, I realized quite early in my military career that I was good at teaching and that I was good at public speaking, because I really don't get nervous. I really don't. I get excited. I get thrilled. I have butterflies because I want to do well, but I don't. I don't get nervous as in, oh my God, I'm going to die from this experience. And even after my military career, when I transitioned to my civilian life, like quite even every single jobs that I had, quite quickly I would become the go-to person to teach within companies.
How about that?
So it's taken me a while, but I've been teaching even when I was in the Air Cadets. When I was 15 years old, I was always a teacher. And so it was just back to what we were saying here earlier. It was just using my God-given talent and putting it to good use for people. So since I'm always happy to go on stage and that I'm thrilled to pass
That's
the
amazing.
knowledge and the little experience, life experience that I've had in the 20 some odd years I've lived already, You're
Oh,
42.
wait,
I'm
wait, yeah.
20.
Oh, ooh, busted. Okay, no,
No,
it
no, no,
says
no.
empowering women 40 plus, but you do work with men and women if someone comes to you.
I work with anybody who wants to work with
That's
me.
wonderful.
And no, I was making a little funny because you said that you were perpetually 42. No, I'm
Yeah.
51.
Okay, we're just going to leave it there. See, she's sending the probe. I want to read this though. This is a quote from you. I have to look at it when I say it. It's funny. Isabel's motto is don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
I had to read it so many times. It was like all those crazy messages they sent you. Um,
Yeah.
I love that you're funny, and through challenges, you don't harbor any. I'm just being funny to survive. You're funny by choice and to embrace life and joy. Help us understand that better. How can someone get there? Grief, it's a big one. Transition from being a in the military to back to civilian life, that's a big one. You've been through some interesting hurdles, as have many of us. But how do you choose? What is it that makes you choose joy and comedic relief?
Well, humor was a big part of my household growing up. My dad is a very funny person. And I, after losing my mom, obviously life wasn't fun for a little while. I was a very sad child. I was 5 when she passed, and she was only 36. And so that sadness became anger as a teenager because it was a coping mechanism. It was easier for me to deal with anger than it was to deal with grief. And when you're angry out of habit, you become bitter. So I became a bitter adult. And when I had a big aha moment when I was 37 years old, when once I outlived my mother, and I just, I was so angry and I didn't even know why I was angry anymore. And so I woke up one morning and I looked at myself in the eyes and I said, okay, so either I kill myself today or I choose a better way to live. And the key word is choice. So it was as if since I thought, like, even as a kid, I thought I was going to die at 36 because she had died at 36. And that's what my small brain comprehended from that, right? And that stayed, like unconsciously, that stayed in me. So once I outlived her, it was as if everything was bonus. So I don't have time for drama. I'm not interested in drama. If it's not funny, I'm not there. If it's fun and not fun, I'm not there. That doesn't mean I can't be serious in my job. I take the well-being of my clients very much to heart. When I do the public speaking, I use humor, but when I do the preparation, I'm very serious about what I'm going to say and how I'm going to present it, but I never work the humor in because I know that the right humor is going to come on stage when I'm on stage.
Mm.
So it was just nobody gets out of this life alive, so I might as well enjoy the ride because I'm going to die.
This is
So
huge. I mean, thinking about you as a kid holding that in your heart all these years, like my mom died at this age and I probably will too. And then you surpass that. I mean, thinking of suicide and ending it all, but yet look where you are. I mean, this is really inspiring. It's possible. It's a choice. What's the switch you got to flip upstairs in the brain to say the choice is life and joy? What happens? How do you help people?
how I help people and how it switched in me, hoping it's two different things, and I'm going to explain why.
Okay.
Um, for me, when I got to that point where it was literally either I kill myself today or I choose something better, I was just too afraid of killing myself. It was as simple as that. I thought it was going to hurt, and I thought of my dad because I didn't think my dad would ever survive his youngest daughter killing herself. So when I took the decision not to kill myself, I just kind of had to do something else, right? So
Yeah.
I obviously went to therapy and all that good
Oh,
stuff,
you
but
did. Okay, cool.
oh yeah. Oh yes, for many years. And right now, like I don't see a psychologist, but I do have coaches, and I think that all good coaches should have a coach, at
Yes,
least
agreed.
one. Yeah, I
Mhm.
have four, and they're all for specific reasons in my life. I have a personal coach and a public speakers coach and a social media coach, and like you have to be working on yourself. How do I guide clients? Unfortunately, most humans have to eat a little bit of dirt before choosing a better way to live. So I help clients by first asking them a lot of questions so that they realize that life doesn't have to be painful. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to. That's a choice. And it's really funny because I'm reading such an interesting book right now. It's called
Oh,
Your Future Self Now. And they are beginning, it's Dr. Benjamin Hardy, I think, Hardy.
yeah. Okay.
And they're beginning to be able to prove that who you are today is not being propelled by your past, because your vision of your past changes through time. But it is quite the opposite. It is actually your future self drawing you to it. And this explains why mindset is the foundation of everything. Because if I keep repeating that I'm not worthy, that I'm not good enough, that I'm broke as a joke, well, the
Mm.
words I am is the same thing in every language, but the words I am does not describe your present. It gives an order to your brain to maintain that situation for the future. So even as a joke, you can't
Whoa.
you can't say you can't bad talk yourself, not even with humor. You
Mm.
have to be kind to yourself first. And when you want another outcome, you have to say it in the present, and then you have to believe it. Because fake it till you make it
Wow.
is a load of crap. Fake it till you make it is crap. It's crap. It's bullshit. Excuse my language, but it's
No, that's
bullshit.
fine. But okay, so fake it till you make. I don't like that statement either. There's no faking. Just become it. Just expect it. Just know it. Are those other
Be
words
it.
that I can put in place of? Yeah, good, good. Okay.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
even become it, it's be it. Because if you become it, oh, that's the future. Yeah, I hope everybody in the universe reads that book. I swear it is. And he's not paying me. I don't know him. He has a YouTube channel. Go follow him. He's wonderful.
I love that
But
our producer just brought that up. You were speaking to this book and he brought that up. Thank you,
that's
Peter. Appreciate
such
you
a
very
wonderful
much. Speaking
idea,
of
Peter.
speaking of books, though, I don't want to miss. You're right. Are you writing one, or
I am.
you are for sure? For sure.
I am. Yeah. I don't know
Yay.
exactly when it's going to come out. It is called Mind Your Own Happiness. But
We love that.
actually, it's called Mind Your Own Business, and there's a big scratch through business, and then it's written happiness.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much. This is
Because
awesome.
because you know what, Carmela? If part of the reasons why we're so unhappy in life is because we take other people's lives personally. Start by minding your own freaking business
Mhm.
and mind your
Sounds
happiness and
good.
do your thing.
Mhm.
The other day I was at a dinner with friends and acquaintances of theirs, not mine, and somebody started ranting a little bit about homosexuality and how it's not whatever, their opinion
Your
on
opinion.
sexuality. And I was being very quiet, and as you can tell, it's unlike me to be quiet. So my friend, there was a moment of silence in the conversation, and my friend said, Isabelle, you're awfully quiet there. I said, yeah. And she was like, okay, care to explain? I said, well, I don't know why you're taking other people's lives personally. And the person who had been ranting against homosexuality and preaching their opinion on it said, yes, but it's against my values and blah, blah, blah. And that's not what God intended and blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, but you said the key word. And he kind of looked at me. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, there are your values.
Right.
There are not his. So you can't take his value personally. It's not about you. They're living their lives. So
Mm-hmm.
stop taking everybody else's lives
Mm-hmm.
personally. And when
And
you're able to do that, you stop caring so much about their opinions. I don't want to keep going because I hear Peter going, I think time's up.
how did you know? But also, we're not to judge. Like that person's not to judge. So whether it doesn't agree with them, fine. But don't, you're not supposed to. It's not supposed to be all judgy. If we were to say in conclusion, what you really bring to the table, you go beyond a mindset facilitator, which is what you really are. You're helping us change our minds for a better, happier, healthier life. You're really a symbol of perseverance and determination. In my book, you've been through a lot. We've heard a little bit here. I actually am going to ask you, hopefully you'll come back. I would love to visit with you and
Anytime.
more from you. When the book comes out, will you come and visit with us and tell us about
Anytime.
yeah, that'd be so
Anytime.
awesome. Do you think your hair will be purple then too, or no?
Well, it's been purple for about 8 months, so chances are
Okay,
it's either going to be purple or blue.
I love it. You're precious. You really are.
Thank you. I
Anything
try.
to parting words of wisdom from Isabelle?
Don't sweat the
Oh
petty
wait,
stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff.
in your honor, I'll wear these in your honor. Oh
I
my God,
love the glasses.
you're
I
a
have to
beautiful
put
person.
mine back on to see you because if not, I couldn't be.
Thank you so much for being in our life. Thank you for
You're
encouraging
very
us
welcome.
to think. And you know what? I was feeling this as you were speaking about the person at the table the other day that wasn't your friend, but a friend of a friend who was judging others, how you didn't let that change how you feel and how you are. And that was the lesson you were trying to teach us today. Don't let other people's opinions become our life. We're living our life based on everybody else's opinion. We need that self-awareness and self-discovery and the transformation. Thank you
You
so much.
have you and if I can take one other minute,
Of course.
you have to when somebody offers you something, you have to actually go within and see is that thing right for me? And when it isn't, you have to have the courage to just say no, thank you.
There it is, right? So if
Final
I struggle
word.
with that, if you're listening, you're saying, well, I struggle with that. I'm not sure how to get there. I don't know what you're talking about. How, you sort of in your mind is just whirling. Just reach out. You do a discovery call, right? You can take a time to consult with someone one-on-one through your website, yeah,
Yes,
.com, and
absolutely.
it's actually
Yeah.
scrolling along the screen there. I'll go ahead and read it to you, but it is Izzy Fortin, Fortin, .com, LIZZYFORTIN.com. Go there, connect with our guests. We want you to connect. Isabelle, thank you so much.
Merci.
Merci. I've enjoyed this so much. Let's go have our little Italian food for lunch this afternoon together. How's that sound?
Good idea.
If you would just hang out. I know Peter wants to say thank you to you as well, but as you leave
Wonderful.
the on-camera view, what's your exit on your podcast? What do you always say? You are special?
Me?
Yeah. Don't you usually say you're special? You are special.
Oh, thank you. That's very sweet. I no, I didn't. I'm gonna have to come up with a
Oh, I
signature
thought that's what usually your
sign-off.
wall behind you. Doesn't it say something
Oh,
about being
oh,
special?
you
We're
are
just too much
it.
alike. Look, we look alike.
Yeah, I move away and I go, you are it.
You are it. You are it. I love it. You are it. Thanks, Isabelle. Appreciate you very much. Ladies and
You're
gentlemen,
welcome.
thanks for watching Under the Spotlight today. I'd like to thank our guests for being here. Would love to know what did you feel? What did you think? What came across your mind? What are you working on? What was it about this visit? You said, I'm staying the whole podcast. I'm listening. I'm watching. I've thought of that before. Wow, that sounds like me. What resonated with you? We come out here to gift you with these really beautiful people, interesting, inspiring, but you're why I do this. I want to hear, what is it for you? Isabelle wants to know, how can we touch down in your life? So her book is coming out. She gave us a recommendation of one to read, which I will. And I want to personally thank our sponsor for season 3 is Perks. It's a nootropics natural energy drink that actually allows the brain to release all the hormones naturally, oxytocin, serotonin, and the clarity and the focus and the productive energy naturally. You want some information? Reach out, carmelasterling.com, and we'll also put it in the description. Don't forget to connect with our guests, and love to hear from you. Hopefully that soon. If not, we'll at least catch you next time here under the spotlight.